So we are here and we are learning how to deal with grief. It's actually a skill that you get to learn, and it's been a beautiful experience for my daughter and I because this was really just like a very radical understanding. We're not born like knowing how to grieve, and furthermore, grieving is like countercultural. It's not very accepted in our modern society. It's not as accepted as it used to be. It used to be in the old days, people would suffer a loss and they'd come together as a community. And these days, you know, it's just not acceptable. So from a very young age, we learn to suppress it and numb it. And, most of us wind up carrying around so much unprocessed grief. And it shows up in many different ways, right? In addiction, finding ways to numb ourselves from feeling and processing all of the grief that we've been carrying. So it can be pretty intense. And I'm witnessing this, through my daughter. And it's been such a wonderful gift to experience this through her as we've transitioned in our family from being mom, dad, and Kaylee living together to now just mom and Kaylee. And it's been, something that both of us have had to grieve. And the bottom line is, like, we experience grief every single time we experience a loss. So think about that's profound. When I first let that land in my system, again, through her, like wanting to help her and seeing, oh my gosh, this every single time we experience loss, and we experience loss all day, every day, right? There are actually three kinds of loss. Death, of course, we know is one of them. Change is a loss. Even if it's for the better, it's still, we experience the loss of, right, what we are changing from. And then choice is a loss. So every time we make a choice and there's an A and B option, we choose A, we lose B, right? So there are opportunities for us to practice grieving every single day. And the way I look at grieving now that I have more of this context is that it's like a muscle that we get to develop. So when we experience tremendous grief, if we have this daily practice of allowing ourselves to grieve over the smaller things that we lose throughout our days, then our muscle is strong. What it also does is it relieves us of the backup, right? We don't get backed up. And that's a major issue. Physiologically, it clogs up the entire system in major, major ways. It depletes your energy. It literally can alter your physiology to the point where you can start to have cellular abnormalities. And because you're holding yourself in such a low vibration. And so your cells, your cellular structures aren't able to receive all the nutrients they need to be vital and vibrant. They are in contraction, they are in constriction. So, energetically, physiologically, you are making yourself less available to what you really do want in your life, right? Which is happiness. And many of us experience kind of like this chronic sadness. And it's typically, there's just this unmoved grief, right? Feelings require metabolism, right? We metabolize the feelings, and that's the way that we heal. We take what we need as nutrients and we excrete the rest, and there's movement. And then we make room, right? We've cleared, and now there's space to bring in exactly what we want. So when we're in this kind of active resistance, then we're literally blocking everything that wants to reach us. So we can do something about it, and taking that power, through the reflections of my daughter, experiencing her and me as well, the typical response is like, Mommy, I miss Daddy. I wish Daddy lived with us. And me going, okay, enough already. It is what it is. And actually then imprinting on her that it's not okay to feel these things because I wasn't equipped to deal with these things. And that's what has happened in society, is that we'll go to grieve and tell somebody else, and it triggers up all their unprocessed grief, and they don't know how to deal with it. And so their best opportunity is to shut you down or to try to cheer you up. So I'm like, oh, it'll be okay, Kaylee, or oh, I can't deal with this. And it's like, this is not allowing us both this beautiful metabolism, this beautiful physiology, this amazing system that we have, this divine system that can process and literally transmute any feeling into what we want and open up to receiving more and more and heal and take in more light. And so here's what we can do. And I adopted a couple of different practices. The one I'm going to share right now is called 30 Seconds of Grief. And I actually learned this at a Kundalini yoga workshop that I took Kaylee to with a woman, Cassidy Underwood. And she offered this, and I believe she learned it from a woman who has written several books on grief, Ava Torre Bueno, I believe her name is, but Cassidy Underwood did this workshop, and it was about the metaphysics of fear, and she discussed fear and grief. And so this is a great practice, and basically, again, it's something you can do daily, and it's the idea, it's like running a few miles every day and training for that big race, right? So it just becomes part of your daily practice. You build this up, and then you are strong and you're able to handle anything. So number one, you want to kind of set aside a time and a place for this ritual, like in your house where you know that you're safe. I mean, we're sitting outside right now just because it's so beautiful, and you can do this wherever you feel comfortable. When I first started doing this, I was doing it at the beach. And that's awesome. But, it's just really about how you can set up the most safe and supportive environment for yourself. And you want to give yourself an object to focus on. And it's, going to represent the thing that you're grieving. So one of the ways that I have been grieving, so I see that one of my biggest unprocessed pains is that I actually never really allowed myself to mourn the loss of my childhood. And it made me very afraid of getting older. And these stress nodes that I've carried have come up and reflected in in all areas of my life. So I have practiced grieving around, let me just grieve that I lost childhood, but it's now helped me. Like, I feel, people tell me I look 20 years younger now because I feel like I've created this youthing process by being able to metabolize this pain that I wasn't getting out of mourning my childhood so that I could actually take in more love and light and then feel younger. How funny is that, right? So I have a picture. It's of me. This picture, when I look at it, it's like I see my essence. It's so like, I was so happy. I was so carefree. I was this gymnast, and I was like fully brave to express myself. And so I am using this, and my daughter is going to use this little cute Superman baby that her daddy got her a long time ago, and every time she looks at it, of course, it reminds her of her dad. And she's experienced a lot of emotion around this object, so it's a great, very powerful, very energetic tool. And so, and you don't have to have an object, right? You don't have to use something. I find it very effective because I'm visual, and of course, my kiddo is too. So set a timer on your phone. I mean, it just gets to look like 30 seconds. If you want to do more, do more. But like 30 seconds is like, in the beginning, it can be a lot, right? So get comfortable. And the next thing you want to do is start to just relax. So I'm going to just have her go through this as I'm talking through this. Just relax the muscles in your face and in your shoulders. So you're going to just relax the muscles in your face and shoulders. And you're going to just kind of relieve the tension here, right? So I want you to just kind of relax, and you can start to close your eyes. So relieving tension in your muscles, especially around the face, actually stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. And that actually opens up your blood vessels to circulate more blood, more energy, more chi. You're going to require that nourishment, which will support you in the act of crying if that does come forth from you. And that's again how your physiology gets to support. Your body is here to support you. The next thing you're going to start to do, so again, closing your eyes and relaxing. You're going to go through this as I coach this, and you're going to start to breathe. So closing your eyes, and you're going to breathe there. Close your eyes. And you're going to breathe very deeply. You want to breathe. And as you breathe in, you're going to inhale and you're going to expand your belly. And you're going to get deep, deep down into the belly. And then as you exhale, you're going to continue breathing, because this is a great practice. And you're going to exhale and bring the belly in. And just continue breathing right there. And you're going to not move and just relax. And the more deep down into your belly you can breathe, like you're going to start to feel some things. You're going to start to feel some emotion. That's perfectly okay. You're breathing, you're holding your object close to you, and you're just allowing whatever is there to simply be there. So you've set this intention, and you're starting to focus on the thing, the person that you're grieving. And you're going to think about that person, feel any emotion or pain that's coming up. It's all fine. And just get your breathing deep down. And that's going to help you. Again, you're going to nourish your adrenal glands, which usually are lit up from carrying around so much unprocessed grief, the pain. And you're going to give your thyroid and your adrenal glands a dose of beautiful healing medicine. So let the breath come in. So continue to keep your eyes closed. You want to be focusing on your breath. So we do this. It's a little bit more challenging to focus when we're on video, but you'll get the idea. Again, closing your eyes and breathing. And now you can put down your object and form prayer cup mudra. So, and you can sit in easy pose, or you can sit in rock pose, which is simply just on your knees like my daughter is doing. And you're going to form a cup with your hands. So you're going to place your right hand on top of your left hand, and you're going to form a cup. And with your hands like this, and right hand on top of left hand, and you're going to literally, as you breathe in, you're going to pull your cup into your belly. And as you breathe out, as you breathe in, you're going to bring your hands out. And as you breathe out, you're going to bring your hands in, and you're just going to stare down into your cup. And you can continue doing this for however long you need to. Again, you set your timer for 30 seconds. It's probably already gone off, which is fine. What this is doing is now what you want to do is continue doing this, continue staring into your cup, and continue breathing. And you want to avail yourself to your guardian angels. You want to actually call them in, invite them into your space, and ask them for support and guidance. So just continue. And Kaylee, who are we calling in right now? Well, we're calling in a guardian angel to support us. We're not calling in the person that we miss. We're asking, maybe it's Jesus. Do we want to call him in, or God, or Mother Mary? Who are you asking to help you feel better about missing Daddy?
You.
Okay, but I'm actually here, right? So if I wasn't here, remember we talked about this and we said we can send beams of light out, like if you're alone, right? And you pray and you ask somebody for help. Who are you asking for help today? You have all these guardian angels. You have God. Remember last time we asked God, right? So you want to ask God again? So you're just calling in I'm going to ask, I'm feeling Mother Mary's presence. So you're just literally bringing the cup in and asking and saying, please, I'm offering myself over to you. Please take my burden and please guide me and assist me. Avail yourself to that. And then you're going to find the body sensation. So where do you feel the pain in your body? Notice where that is. When we experience loss, we usually lodge it in our chest. And this is why our lungs can become susceptible. The lungs actually govern grief. And I have some further exercises on how to nourish your lungs to really support you in the grieving process, which is amazing. Sadness, can also show up as heaviness around the eyes. It can be a lump in the throat, and just notice where it is. So when you're feeling like you're missing Daddy, where does that feel like in your body, Kaylee?
My heart.
Yeah, like around your chest. Yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense. And it's okay, right? The goal is to just remain still and just be with it. Like, this is okay. So the last step here is like, you may cry. You may sob uncontrollably, right? You may not do anything at all. You may not. I've done this, and I'm like, I can't. I'm not allowing myself the full expression. I'm not crying, and I've laughed. I've gotten super anxious. It's all okay. The idea is that you're setting aside this time and you're building yourself a safe container, this little cocoon of support. You're letting your body know that it is actually completely safe to cry and to experience the feeling of the loss, right? So it's very empowering when we realize that we can actually embark on this journey. And the more you practice it, the less intense it is. And, when we experience loss, we have to really deactivating our nervous system. So imagine you experience a traumatic loss, like on your body, like you lost a limb, you injured yourself. That is a cellular imprinted trauma. And if you aren't healing that trauma, it lives inside your cells. Your body is like a human, it literally is a recording device. So on a cellular level, you record everything. And so when you have a physical trauma or an injury, healing gets to take place, right? We nourish it, we ice, we elevate, we heal that injury. And it's the same thing with grief, right? So it's what are we showing up to do in order to heal? It's going to take time. So we're practicing this, and 30 Seconds of Grief is a great way to start. And I have a complete guide for additional support, and it's, small little exercises you can do every single day in addition to this 30 Seconds of Grief that I wanted to share with you. How you feeling, Kaylee? Better. Every day we practice because we get to talk about it, right? Is there anything else you want to add about how you've been able to deal with the grief of not having Daddy live with you anymore?
I think I'm okay.
Well, every day, every moment, right?
Right.
What's one thing you can offer that really helped you? That's really helped you deal with missing Daddy, being able to focus on objects that make you think of him? Yeah, that's powerful, right? And what do they do when you see an object that makes you think of Daddy? How does it make you feel? Happy. That's awesome, buddy. I love you. All right, that's all we got. Say bye.
Bye.